What's up, guys? It's your favorite Virgo, Flowers for Leah. Welcome back to my channel. I am coming at you with yet another video on this fine Monday evening. Today's video is going to be about another rant of mine. I am finally so excited to announce that I am moving back to Las Vegas. I didn't really know for sure before, but now I have confirmed within myself. I'm going back to Las Vegas. The time has come. I'm ready. I can't take this anymore. Delaware, it's been real, but in a couple months, your girl will be out back west. Anyway, today's video is going to be just to kind of just sum up my experience in a nutshell being back here in Delaware. And it's going to be 5 pros and 5 cons of moving back to Delaware. How it's been, you know, the good and the bad, because it hasn't been all bad. And I definitely want to make that clear that in the beginning, it was a little more rough, but, you know, toward the, you know, once I got my footing and, you know, once everything kind of came together, it did get a lot better for me. I just know that Delaware is not where I intend to stay for the rest of my life. I never want to live here again. But yeah, let's get into it. Pro number 1, I would say the best thing about being back has definitely been being able to see my friends and family, you know, being back close to them, being able to, you know, see them face to face more regularly has definitely been really amazing, especially, you know, coming back from Vegas the first time and I was in a really bad mental space, and just being able to, you know, be back around family, be back around love has been amazing. So that's by far the number 1 pro of moving back to Delaware. Pro number 2, it has been great being able to get my finances in order and being able to, you know, get back on my feet as far as, you know, making better money. You know, things got hard. Life hit me, you know, it happens, but I have definitely been blessed to be able to, you know, come back home and not start from scratch, but kind of, you know, build a lot since I've been back. It has been great to be able to kind of get right back where I was before I even moved to Vegas in the first place. Pro number 3, being back in Delaware, you know, the kind of sleepiness, the kind of routine lifestyle that I've always experienced, you know, being from here, growing up here, was kind of the same thing all the time. I would definitely say being back was definitely a confirmation that I did the right thing by leaving in the first place. I don't know. I guess I kind of expected everyone to kind of just, you know, rush over to me and be like, oh my God, Leah, you're back, you know, yay. But it wasn't really like that. You know, everyone obviously still had their own life to live. Everyone, you know, was focusing on themselves still. You know, they were happy that I was back, but it was more so like, I'm glad you're back. If you need anything, let me know. Deuces. Like that's kind of like how I felt for a long time. Just the energy and just, you know, the scenery, you know, being out and about in the state of Delaware, nothing has changed. Like, it's literally the same. It's still boring. And it's just confirmation that, you know, I don't belong here. Delaware really has nothing to offer me. There's really nothing else that I need to do here. So that's even more fuel for me to remember that I am meant to go elsewhere. I'm meant to, you know, go on to bigger and better things. So just confirmation that I did it right the first time has been amazing. And it's been really helpful, you know, within my spirit. I was constantly questioning, like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing by moving out to Vegas? Like, can I really do this? You know, is this really the place for me? And coming back, like, immediately solidified, like, Leah, this ain't where you need to be. Like, this is, you know, just a stepping stone. But do not stay here longer than you need to. Do not do that. And I've definitely carried that with me the entire time that I've been back. So knowing that I did it right has been amazing. Number 4. So like I said, being able to see my family and friends and kind of be, you know, surrounded by love and support since I've been back has done wonders for my mental health. Just knowing that I do, you know, still have a support system wherever it is I decide to go. If I decide to, you know, go to another country, you know, I'm always going to have, my family and friends rooting for me, to win, and just knowing that I can lean on them and, come to them for anything, for advice, and hey, I want to bounce something off of you, just knowing that they're always going to be here to, be that soft place for me to land on if ever I fall, has really done wonders, for my mental health. Because being out in Vegas the first time, I did feel alone. I was scared. I was doing something that no one really did. No one I knew, especially family members, like no one had moved out to, the West Coast, and it was really uncharted territory. I had to, blaze the trail for myself, just knowing that, like I said, like I did it right, definitely, took a weight off of me. And it was definitely a huge relief to know that a lot of the stress that I was putting on myself was just my inner self saboteur saying, hey, you can't do this, when the whole time I was doing it. Just more confirmation, just keep going. It has literally just been amazing. My mental state is a complete 180 than it was, 2 years ago. I'm going to take the same energy, the same positivity, and I'm just going to keep going. And number 5, the last, but definitely not the least pro about being back, I will say this whole entire experience has definitely strengthened my faith 100%. I find myself seeking God more. I'm saying, you know what, I need to pray about this. Or I find myself Googling church services and, looking up pastors on Instagram and people that can, speak to me in a way that I understand and, show me God, show me who God is, and just strengthening my faith and knowing that whatever path I'm on, He's with me, and just never being afraid to stop and say, thank you, Jesus, or Lord, give me the strength. Like I know we say that a lot, just as to some people, it's just something to say. But to me, it's like I mean it when I say those things. And being back, I feel good. Like I'm not afraid. And I know that I owe that to my faith. I'm not afraid to get back out there and do it again, regardless of what happens. All I'm thinking about is working toward my goal. I'm going into it with a different mindset. I'm excited. I have no fear in my body about this. All I'm focused on is I'm going back home. I'm going back to where I belong. I'm going back to where I feel a part of something. And that's the energy that I get from being on the West Coast. So definitely being back has definitely strengthened my faith tenfold. And I don't know if that would have happened if I didn't come back. So I definitely want to always focus on the positives. It was hard for me in the beginning coming back, but since being back, things have literally given me a huge sense of gratitude. And I'm just appreciative, and I'm so thankful that I was able to even have this experience, to come back, to have a steady job, to be able to work as much as I do and make, as much money and save as much money as I can, to be able to get back on my feet, and do it all over again, but do it better. Okay, now on to the cons of being back. Anyone who's from Delaware, I'm sure you could probably write this list for me. I only have 5 things, but I'm sure you guys can put in the comments 100 more things. So number 1, obviously, coming from Las Vegas, coming from sunshine all year round, pretty much, the weather in Delaware is night and day. Complete opposite of the West Coast. It sucks. I hate it. I hate the cold. I feel like I'm a totally different person when it's warm outside versus when it's cold outside. So Delaware is definitely not the place for me as far as weather. It gets cold and it stays cold for so long. And now the weather's doing this thing where it'll be like 50 degrees, 60 degrees, and then it'll drop back down to like 20 degrees. And I don't have time for that. My allergies are a nightmare. I hate the weather here. I can't stand it. The humidity is disgusting. Yeah, I just can't. Okay, so con number 2 is, as we all know, my fellow Delawareans, Delaware is boring. There is nothing to do here. If you want to go where the action is, you have to drive like 2 hours north to Philly or 2 hours south to Baltimore. or DC. You know, there's really no getting around that. There are no concerts that really happen here besides like Firefly. You don't really see celebrities coming through here. You have to do a lot of planning if you want to, you know, go have a good time if you live in Delaware. If I wanted to, say, go to a club and, you know, get lit and I'm the one that's driving, that's not possible because I can't drive home 2 hours after drinking all night. That's no fun. Nobody wants to be the DD, especially driving 2 hours to a new city and everyone else is getting lit but you. Meanwhile, in a city like Vegas, like, you know, I'm speaking about Vegas because that's my personal experience. All of the parties, all of the action, all of the nightlife are within 20 minutes or less of, you know, wherever you live. Number 3, since being back in Delaware, I have found that it has become very, very hard for me to relate to the people here, the people that I know, people that I've grown up with, and just in passing, just hearing people talk to each other, you know, complete strangers that I don't even know, just kind of just passing by, hearing like their conversations and just hearing how they're so comfortable where they are and they've never really been outside of Delaware and they have no intentions on, you know, going anywhere else. And I'm not judging anyone. It's just, you know, the experiences that I've had, you know, speaking from my point of view, I just know that the trajectory of my life personally is outside of Delaware. It's so much bigger than what Delaware has to offer. In that way, that has been, you know, a huge con for me because it's like, well, who do I turn to, you know, to talk to about like what I'm feeling as far as, you know, moving and living somewhere else when literally no one else knows what I'm talking about because no one else, you know, has lived anywhere else. Number 4. So definitely being back on the East Coast, even though, you know, Delaware is small, it's still an East Coast state. So feeling the whole, you know, vibe of, you know, rushing around and, you know, people driving crazy. People want to drive fast. Wherever they're going, they want to get there fast. And once they're there, they want to hurry up and get home. So, and you're going to find, you know, crazy drivers anywhere, but it's definitely like that East Coast, you know, urgency of, you know, you're going too slow, move, and kind of that lack of consideration for other people is definitely still alive and well here. Whereas on the West Coast, I feel like it was, you know, a little slower paced and people kind of took their time more and took it all in, gave themselves a minute to kind of, you know, take a beat. Whereas here it's just like go, go, go. And if you're not going, get out of my way. That's definitely been a con for me. That's definitely something that I won't say I've been struggling with because I was kind of raised in it. It was definitely refreshing to be out on the West Coast because I felt like I could take a minute to breathe, you know, and within my day to day, I felt like I can just, you know, like just, you know, take that time to myself, and it was normal. And finally, number 5, which is also a huge one for me because y'all know I love to eat. I love me some food, but the Delaware food options are very limited and it's a lot of the same stuff. Anywhere you go, you're going to have like your chain restaurants, your fast food on every corner, things like that. But as far as like the mom and pop shops and kind of like the specialty food restaurants, it's not a lot of them here. I mean, if you go kind of up north, you'll see a little bit more, but as far as like the variety and like the different, you know, creations of art that is food, you just don't have that here. And it's crazy because I feel like places just started selling birria tacos in Delaware, whereas in Vegas it was, you get a birria taco anywhere. Y'all know I love my birria tacos, but that's just an example. But in Vegas you could get a taco cheesesteak covered in cheese baked potato with a side of lobster, and it was amazing. Like, you just don't have those kind of things here in Delaware. And since being back, I've definitely gotten to the point where I prefer to cook a lot more because eating out is just so unsatisfying now because it's the same old stuff. That's been a big one for me, and I cannot wait to get back out west because the food was probably one of the biggest things that I had to give up when I came back. So, all right, guys, that is it for my 5 pros and 5 cons of being back in Delaware. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and also tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Keep engaging with me. Please keep sending me comments. Definitely click that link down below to connect with me. All of my socials are in that link right at the bottom. Thank you guys, and as always, I will see you in the next one.